And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Peach State Power Hour. I'm Harrison Reno, alongside me, co-host Andy Stowe, Eddie from Acworth. He is not on the screen, but he is here with us in spirit tonight. Ben Bachman is here.
He's trying. He's trying to.
He's working hard to get that camera going.
Welcome from 1983, Ben Bachman.
Yeah, really.
I have the wrong camera on.
AOL dial-up.
I'm saying, yeah.
You
got Mel.
There we go. Yeah,
you got Mel.
Now
There
we
we
see
go.
him clearly.
Is everyone doing good?
Are you in the AIM chat rooms? Are you in those chat rooms busting them with ASL right now?
No, I'm not Eddie's age. He's got decades on me.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hello,
It's not a
man.
bad thing with how bad this young generation is. Honestly, he's probably in a good place being older.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
Hey, I told you, Eddie, when you started the age jokes on Twitter today, it was going to come back tenfold. Ben Bachman's already going to
Now wait, I got a long way to go to make up with all the crap you give me, Harrison. So that was just one shot to your 5. So come on. All right, start the show, Harrison. Let's go. Start it.
Not starting with the Falcons, sir.
How about them dogs? How about them dogs? That's what we're talking about.
Gentlemen, I forget what the score predictions was. I had Georgia not covering the 4.5. But they covered that by like 4 times. 4 times that. Just general thoughts and reactions Saturday night in Athens.
Andy?
You take away the second and third quarter where we got a little sluggish. We dominated them. I mean, we dominated them in the first quarter. We dominated them in the fourth quarter. And my biggest takeaway is we were able to run the ball at the end of the game. You know, we struggled a little in the middle, but we kept them, what was it, 35 yards they had or something like that running. We dominated the lines of scrimmage, and this team was supposed to be a national champion contender. And hey, we just beat them by 25 points. So maybe the dogs are your national champion contender. Great night for the dogs.
So Harrison, I'll ask you a quick question. Was this the best defense we faced all year? Or was Florida a little better?
Absolutely. Texas number 1.
I'd
say Auburn's 2.
Okay. Oh, really? Auburn's 2 over Florida. Okay.
Texas has that D line. That D line for Texas is legit.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just keep pounding this hammer. I've been doing it all year. This team is Gunnar Stockton's mentality. That's what this team is. It is win at all costs. I don't care what my stat sheet is. Let's get the doggone win. And Kirby Smart, I'll get into it a little bit later, but he's the best coach in college football. He did this with Sark. He just toyed with him right there. He just played with Sarkisian the entire game. Now, I will say, Andy, you mentioned the second and third quarter. I think what Kirby did was he kind of looked at how this game was going. We were up, 14-3?
Yeah.
Right. He just was like, let's just take the air out of the ball, get this win, and go home. That's kind of what he does in games like this. And it almost came back to bite him. Right. But that fourth quarter, he ran circles around Sarkisian, and that's his buddy. But Kirby Smart is unbelievable. And thank you, Lord, we have him as our football coach. Ben?
I think that was by far their best win of the season. And I think the Mississippi State game last week, I remember telling Roddy this before the Mississippi State game. I told him, this is the first time I think Georgia's going to convincingly win, because I go, Mississippi State has no defense. Georgia's going to score. If they can get some early stops and get confidence, they're going to have a convincing win on both sides of the ball. They had that, and they entered tonight with confidence. I think that's what the defense has been missing, is confidence. My only nitpick about the defense is early in that game, and it probably frustrated you too, Eddie, was I felt like there were so many times where they were giving Arch 6-7 yards. I don't want to give that to a quarterback like Arch, who's, I guess he's a junior, but he's still trying to grow. He's struggled throughout the year. Yeah. You don't want to give him those 6-7 yards, those easy
passes.
You don't want to give them to a quarterback like him. It's different for maybe even Ty Simpson, who's been balling out all year. But with Arch early in that game, they were kind of giving it to him. Other than that, defense balled out. They were getting pressure. The inside linebackers have been incredible blitzing this year. That's been one of their strengths. They need to continue doing that. And I look at this team, Gunnar Stockton, this is the best offense Kirby's had outside maybe 2022. And it's the most fun. And I think Gunnar Stockton, you said Gunnar Stockton is Georgia. He is. He's literally a guy, you look at his pickup truck, you go from a guy who's buying cows on Christmas morning and driving a pickup truck that's got 280,000 miles on it, from previously having a guy who's driving a Lambo with an influencer girlfriend who's there during their off week. and not communicating with the coaches. That's a big difference. And I think the team loves Gunner. A lot of guys, Drew Bobo grew up with Gunner, who's the center, which is huge. People don't talk about that enough.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Oscar Delt, he was on a 7-on-7 team for multiple years. A lot of these kids grew up with him. So I think that's why the team galvanizes around him. And he's developed so much, because from what we saw last year in the little sample size to now, he's grown so much. And I think this team, honestly, with him at quarterback, I think they can go all the way. And he should be a Heisman finalist. I don't know if he's going to have the numbers to win the Heisman, but I think he won't.
Well,
hey,
he's grown so much from like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
You see every week, like, it's not a whole year. It's 3 weeks ago. Yeah, he's getting better every week. Yeah.
I just wanted to say one thing before I kick back to you, Harrison. I was shocked that they didn't have a game plan for Arch to use his legs. It was like non-existent. I mean, Gunner, he made a couple of bad reads, and that's okay. That happens in that read game. But there was none of that read option with Arch. And I've heard all year, watch out for his legs. And the only time they used his legs was in panic mode. Yeah. I was absolutely shocked that the brilliant mind of Steve Sarkisian didn't use Arch more in that facet. Harrison?
I think a big part of that was obviously him getting knocked out in that Mississippi State game. I think
really, I didn't even think about
way
that.
Conservative since then when he had that concussion scare. So because he's already getting hit so many times a game, why add the extra? But I agree with you, Eddie. In positions where you have to go win the game, you need to run your quarterback, and if that gives you your best chance to win, you got to do it. And I think also another part of that was I think they were probably banking on him being a high red zone threat. And I think they only had one trip into the red zone versus Georgia's defense on Saturday, maybe two. I forget if the opening drive reached the red zone. Outside of that, it was tough sledding for that offense. So, and we talked about it on this show. If you want to play Georgia in the quick screen game, horizontal, and you want to force them to make tackles in the open field, that's not a recipe for success for Georgia's defense historically. The only question with this group was, okay, can they do it over and over and over again with a younger group? And they did. You saw DeMello Jones. You saw Ellis Robinson.
He's good. Come
down and tackle in space. DeMello Jones just took that man's soul early on in that football game. Jonel Aguero, we know what that guy's about. It was a really impressive result all around. Like I said, I had this being a 4-point game. I thought Georgia would, be in control. It would be back and forth a little bit. Then Georgia would go win it in the fourth. They ended up winning it in the fourth, but they were winning throughout this entire game after that opening drive from Texas. From there, I guess let's talk about the I'm assuming y'all saw the quote. It feels like every time these two teams face off, there's always a fire quote. And this week, it was Kirby Smart in the postgame press conference talking about what he wants. What he wants in the portal, what he wants out of high school. Guys, their whole game plan yesterday was they're going to take Texas to the water, to the deep end, and they're going to make them ring that bell. And he goes on to talk about how, and I quote, we're hitting people. He goes on to say, you have to recruit physical players, and they have to buy into that process. I don't know that a lot of these kids nowadays, they want to check. They don't want physicality. And you have the check and no physicality, you end up with nothing. So we're not just getting checks at our place. We're hitting people. Boy, were they hitting yesterday.
Do you think that was a shout out to Tyler Atkinson and Justice Terry?
Yep.
100%.
The difference is I understand the way in which they won, but when you face a certain team and you start saying that, I think it's a message, especially when you have two defensive players from your state going there. I think that
not only that, Ben, Kirby made it a point in the presser to not only say that, but to point out the guys who are on the roster from Texas. This was a big win for them. He did that on everything he says, Harrison, you know this better than anybody, has a purpose and a point. And that's exactly what he was saying. Hey, Tyler, here we are, buddy. You've committed to Texas for money. You want to come be physical? You can come here or you can take that paycheck.
Eddie had me thinking of Dabo for a second there with that Tyler, the guy who called
Tyler.
Dabo. Hey, that when Eddie said that, that's how I thought of first.
But no, you
Tyler from
Kirby.
Spartanburg.
Kirby will say things, and he doesn't actually point it. He doesn't say, Eddie from Acworth, you suck. But he will say,
He
there's
should
people.
say that about Eddie.
He definitely should say that, but he'll say there's people up in the Acworth area that suck, and I hate those. He won't specifically say it, but he says it right at them. And also, let's not pretend like that offense that they're running in Texas, that is a finesse offense. They're not a power team, 35 whatever yards running, and you saw Ryan Wingo, he falls down. I mean, it's just like blow wind at that guy. So no, he is making a point. We're physical, they're soft. You can go get your money, but you may not go to the NFL, and you're not going to win football games. Yeah.
What is it, like 80 rushing yards over 3 games versus Georgia? That's
76.
79.
That's
That's what Roddy
atrocious.
said.
They were close.
But also, I noticed on the first drive of the game, Texas, even though they held, even still on that drive, which wasn't getting called, they were running the ball at Georgia pretty well in that first.
They were.
Drive. I mean,
They had
just
some holes.
stopped. They stopped. I don't understand that at all, because anytime I watch Sark in some of these big games, it's like pass, run, pass. And then this game, he was just, I don't know what he was doing. And Roddy claims that he's not actually calling plays, but I mean, you still see him with the sheet. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
I look at Sark in these big games. He had that one win on the road against Nick Saban, which I thought was fool's gold. Other than that, 0-2 against DeBoer, 0-3 against Kirby, 0-2 against Ryan Day. And most of the time he's getting smacked, at least majority of the time. So I look at Sark, I'm like, I still don't know what he is. And he's coached at 3 different programs, Washington, USC, and now with Texas. And I still don't know what he is. And it's the most confusing thing.
You know exactly what he is. He is a good play caller. He is a good offensive coordinator, but he's not an elite head coach.
So he's SEC James Franklin.
I know what he is.
100%.
I know what he is. He's Kirby's bitch. That's what he is.
He is that. He is that. But no, he is.
Sorry to be so crude, but that's a fact.
Is he James Franklin, Eddie, of the SEC?
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, Ben. I don't think he's going to be here next year. I think he's going pro. I don't think he's going to be here.
But what NFL job?
Because they're not going to make the playoffs, and Matthew McConaughey is going to have a cow, okay? And he was the answer to get to the playoffs, and they haven't done anything in the SEC. I think he's going pro.
But who's
If
going
the
to hire him?
NFL team will take him, he'll jump at it. But I thought it was funny that what was it? The Titans was the job that opened up. There's a report, Sarkisian and the Titans mutual interest. I'm like, Sark's putting that out that he wants that job. I don't think the Titans are putting it out. I think Sark.
Yep.
I think he knows the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, but who's gonna take him as their head coach in the NFL?
The Atlanta Falcons.
No. You don't have to go.
They already used him as OC, and he bolted. So
yeah, but I mean that's what I'm saying, Andy. You just go be an OC in the NFL,
so
and you're done.
you think he would go? You think he would leave and go as an OC? Because
Yes,
I think he went to the
100%.
I think he went to the NFL to be an OC there, to come back to college to be the head coach.
And it's not working out. He can go back and be an OC in the NFL and not have to fool with all this foolishness. That's the thing.
But I think he wants to be a head coach. But I don't know. But yeah.
Heck, with the way Texas is loaded with NIL and resources, I don't think he sees his foolishness. He should see it as, I have a massive advantage over everybody else.
Oh, great.
I just got to get the right people in.
But Harrison, Texas Tech now is a problem.
Texas
And
Tech.
that's the
That's
thing.
true.
When we
Texas
talk
A&M's
about,
a problem too.
What's his name? Guyton. When we talk about LaDainian Guyton,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
there's that big booster. I don't know his name from Texas Tech. This is the first time I've seen it, but you know what? I know it's very hateable, but you know what? I kind of respect it, because there's a lot of times where people do interviews and be like, I went to this school because relationships, even though we know that you got paid. Just be honest. And I think Eddie's talked on here about, can these coaches just be honest and stuff like that. When it comes to Texas Tech, they have a big boosters basically offering up money to these kids online, as being transparent about what they're doing. You know what I'm like? I know it sucks for the sport, but at least they're transparent. And Texas Tech is doing that now. Look at how good Texas Tech is.
Cody
And
Campbell.
Texas A&M's undefeated. They're the 3rd best school in their state right now, because the other 2 schools have money too. And the parity is really close. So I don't think Texas's job is as great as people think it is, like as perfect.
I think that's true.
And SMU has money too. Don't forget about SMU. But
Yeah, they do.
but
They just paid their coach a lot of money.
Cody Campbell's the guy that big oil guy down there at Texas Tech. He's the one paying it.
So Harrison, before we move on, do you think that Tyler Atkinson, Justice Terry, et cetera, do you think that they heard that? I'm sure they heard the comment.
Yes.
I'm sure they saw it.
Do you think Tyler Atkinson is at home right now thinking, maybe I need to go to Georgia? Or, I mean, every kid's different. It's hard to say, but do you think that had some impact, what Kirby was saying? No? You're shaking your head no. Go ahead.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, look, it's not a coincidence that Kirby's main theme about SC Media Days was about relationships over transactions.
For sure.
And on the same day, a couple hours later, after he's up at that podium, Tyler Atkinson pops. I'm not saying he's talking about Atkinson. Now, granted, there's nobody in the country that Kirby had a better relationship with Atkinson, a longer term relationship than Atkinson.
I would argue same with Justice Terry. They had the same relationship, right?
I don't know. I know Atkinson. I know personally that he and Atkinson, I think they had been recruiting him since he was in middle school.
Schumann and him. I think didn't he tell us, Harrison, that like Schumann was his like favorite coach? I remember because Schumann offered him in the 8th grade.
Is that right?
Yeah. So Schumann's been recruiting him since the 8th grade. So, that's one that I think Georgia's probably got the best relationships, and they're nearest to home. I remember there was one time in March where he just like visited to sit with the coaches for like a midweek visit, not even during the weekend, like a midweek visit, just chat with Glenn Schumann. So like he visited over 20 some times. So the relationships are definitely at Georgia. Texas was the check.
But you don't think
I'm like, this is a check.
Yeah, 100%.
Harrison, you don't think it swayed him at all?
I don't. I mean, we'll see. I know people were tweeting out the picture of Justice Terry talking to, I think it was David Cooper. Don't read into that, folks. At least not right now. I wouldn't be surprised, to say the least, if maybe eventually he comes home. But heck, with the way Texas defensive line has been playing, I don't see why he would want to leave right now.
I think Guyton might come home with the way he did that interview the other day. He basically admitted, my favorite school is Georgia, but I'm going to Texas Tech.
He said that.
Committed. Yeah. I'm like, why are you saying this out loud? He's like, my relationships, I love Georgia. All I've ever wanted to do is go to Georgia, but then I'm strongly committed to Texas Tech.
He's just trying to get Texas Tech to pony up more money, I think. Yeah, like he may ultimately but I think he'll go there, but he could eventually come back. But
that's why I think ends up happening.
Yeah.
All right. Let's change gears and hop back into this Texas conversation. I guess this game conversation, because we've been talking about Texas for a little bit now. Let's hit player of the game here. Andy, I like your choice here.
DeMello Jones.
And he hates mine. So
yours
mine sucks.
Oh, I don't even have yours on my note sheet. I downloaded.
Yeah, because you don't read the notes. I mean,
no. I filled out my notes and then I said screw Eddie's notes because you didn't even read my text. So why should I read your stuff?
No,
I read it just late.
I mean, obviously, Gunner's probably the. Gunner's probably I thought Eddie said screw it. Gunner's probably the obvious choice here, but no, mine is DeMello Jones. I think he has become our best cornerback. He is constantly making. Not only is he covering
15.
guys, he's breaking up passes, but he is in the run game too. He's coming downhill and he's hitting people. He looks like he's got some swagger out there at cornerback, and I think he is quickly becoming our best DB. And he's covering. Like I love watching that guy play. Like he's one of those to me. You look for him. You say, "Whoa, where he's at? What is he doing?" Yeah, great game. He was all over the field. So yeah, he was my player of the game.
You know what I love about that, Andy, is that's a kid 15. You're talking about DeMello Jones, who stepped up in the moment.
He did.
He had an opportunity and took advantage of it.
Because he wasn't starting before. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And every time I saw the ball downfield a little bit, 15 was somewhere in the pile.
He's around
every time.
Yeah. And even Kirby shouted him out. He was like, look, was like, for all the people that say, oh, if you don't play 1 year or the first game, you got to go. He was like, he sat last year and now he's playing and look how good he's doing. So, I mean, that's what Kirby will tell you exactly what you want to know or what he wants you to know, but he's just making sure, he says it without saying it. So yeah, he's good.
Andy.
He looks, I think he's our best cornerback. So Eddie, who you
want to go next?
I'll go next. So CJ Allen, the quarterback on defense, number 3, goes out midway through the second quarter. Do we want to put an update out here, Harrison, or just leave it?
Go to the vent.
Don't know. Go to the vent.
If you subscribe, there may be an article on the dog vent about that. Right?
We don't know yet. So
look at Harrison.
Harry, he's the quarterback. I mean, he's our best player on defense, but Chris Cole.
Yeah.
He comes into the game, and immediately when he came in the game as that middle linebacker for CJ Allen, they picked on it. Sark, and good for him. They got a couple good plays with their tight end there, but they locked it down. And they made adjustments, and Chris Cole became that quarterback for the defense. And he ended up being the leading tackler with 2 assists. I'm just so impressed with how they can just roll people in, like a Chris Cole, who obviously works inside and outside. He had to come inside for this game. And he called the defense like a master. And after that, They locked Texas down. And I was so proud of the way Chris Cole did that. That speaks not only to the depth of this team that Kirby has built, but how these players cross-train and are ready for the moment. And Chris Cole was ready for the moment. I loved it.
Eddie, to kind of piggyback off of that, what is Chris Cole? He's a sophomore. What is DeMuller Jones? He's a sophomore. What is Justin Williams? Like these guys he's a sophomore. These guys that are young and
Zayden Walker, a freshman out there making plays.
But that's the thing. Young guys.
Ellis Robertson's growing.
Yes. Ellis Robinson, when he had a good game. You didn't.
P.G. Bolden's a sophomore. I mean, they're all underclassmen.
That's the thing. All of these guys are young. They're getting better on the job. And when you start doing that, I mean, obviously I'm not peeking ahead till next year because I think this team can be special. When you peek ahead till next year, you're like, holy crap, this may be one of those generational defenses coming up. But yeah. But Ben,
if a certain player comes, I'm not gonna, say a whole lot there. But I was gonna say Raylan Wilson is who I thought Eddie was actually going to bring up because I remember he took the mouthpiece. Because the one thing I noticed was when CJ Allen left, outside of the first few plays, there wasn't that much of a drop off the rest of the game. There wasn't. And Raylan Wilson's the one who was doing all the calls and was basically making the adjustments and the hand signals on the field. Chris Cole came in and made the tackles and made the plays, but Raylan Wilson was the one commanding the defense. And I think he's been underrated all year because I think there's been some moments where CJ Allen's gotten the tackles, but then there's some games where Raylan Wilson's taken over. Today, he was in the lead role while Chris Cole was doing a lot of the work and making the splash plays while Raylan Wilson was the one drawing it up. So I think Raylan Wilson doesn't get enough talk because they lost their best player on defense. You can make an argument CJ Allen's the best player on the team. I'm not going to argue with you. Obviously, Gunner's the most important. But I look at it from the standpoint of in that game, in that moment, Raylan Wilson taking over the defense the way they did, because the only time they scored a touchdown was when they got spotted and Zion Branch committed, in my opinion, a dumb penalty. He had help over the top from Bolden that if he doesn't do that, they literally hold him to 3 there. And Texas doesn't even score a touchdown. I mean, that was flawless defense throughout the game.
And you're right, Ben. I mean, I will say that it depended on the formation and what they called. Number 9 was making a lot of plays too. If you go back and watch the tape, he was making a lot of the calls in there too. So I think they were trading off a little bit, right? To be but it still goes back to the point that Kirby is cross training and bringing these guys up and saying you got to be ready for the moment, and they were.
Cole's also been an edge rusher this year.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he's been on that
outside.
Yeah,
that's right.
Talking about being ready for the moment, go ahead and give some props to Noah Thomas.
Yes.
What have we talked about for several weeks? Georgia needs somebody to step up and take over that X receiver role. Obviously, Colby Young went down with that injury. I believe it was Ole Miss, right? God, it feels like so long ago, but it really wasn't. Ole Miss goes down, out for the year. Everyone starts saying, hey, Noah Thomas is going to have to be the guy. Going to have to start seeing it. Going to get his chances. And he popped. He popped today. I know Brent Rollins in his Sunday Reflections was talking about how he and Brent on Film Don't Lie had been calling out, hey, he's winning his one-on-ones, and eventually that's going to pay off. It paid off on Saturday. That, whatever you want to call it, I know it as the
dig route,
or the zig,
the dig route. That was sick. He faked the slant and then dug back. Oh my God!
That throw was perfect.
You say that. I was going to say the throw was a dime. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Noah Thomas, but that was a dime from Gunner. But what a great route! I watched that again tonight.
It's funny when you watch it. One of the last receivers to wear number 5 for Georgia ran that same exact play. A.D. Mitchell,
he did. A.D. Mitchell
on the road at Auburn.
Yep.
Absolutely juked the DB out of his pants. Noah Thomas stepped
the
up
over route too. The over route he ran too. I mean, that was not an easy catch, and he had to make that. That's 2 TDs, just massive.
He has as many TDs he had as many TDs in this game than he did coming into it for the season. Huge game for Noah Thomas. Obviously, guys, we see it. The whip route. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Obviously, Gunner Stockton is a player of the game. But we try not to give you the obvious answers here. We try to shout out some other people who stood out to us on the game. I want to bring this up. Well, first, let's hit here. Eddie, you've been called out in the comments tonight. So it's time to face the music, sir.
My comments.
I wasn't here for this. So Ben, you might have been watching here. I don't know if you were on the show.
I've got
Andy,
this.
I know you were definitely here. All right, we'll let him go solo. All right. Your standing trial, sir.
No, don't do
Dun,
that.
dun,
Don't do that.
dun.
Don't do
Standing
that.
trial.
Put it back. That just makes me nervous. I like. Come on. Don't be ridiculous. All right, put that comment back up because I'm wondering if it's John from Unadilla. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Of course, but that's easy to say. That was the SEC championship last year. Okay, things have changed. I mean, come on. If you'd have told me, if everyone on this chat right now and everyone here in this podcast would have said, if Carson wasn't hurt, he's the guy, because that was the case last year.
For sure.
We didn't know anything about Gunner.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
been for half the game, and everything they did was vanilla. He made a horrible pick that almost cost us the game, right? This is a totally different animal now. I'm sorry. Okay, back then, you're right. I did say that. But, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I was, by the way, I was the one that said Gunner's going to be good, Andy, preseason.
I did
No,
too.
I'm saying, I know. I'm saying to you, there were
Oh.
other people, Paul Maharry, who said,
Shots fired.
Eddie, he is right. What he said was,
Be
yes,
careful, guys. Don't say the P word because he might show up on the screen, and then
We'll
we're gonna have to
pop
figure
he's
something
not.
out.
He's dealing
No.
with a 70
His
kid that he made
logic
last
is
night.
he just looks
Said
like
that.
the third guy on the depth chart, and Paul's like, "That's my guy." And if he transfers, nobody was expecting it, so he never has to say anything. And then, oh, Chauncey Bowens, I called that one. He literally
Well, hey, he did call that. He called Chauncey Bowens. But look, I will defend Eddie about that comment. Yes, he has been 100% on the Gunner train this year. 100%. Like, and even the biggest Gunner Stockton fan.
At the time, that's correct. Whoever Trip Brady is, at the time, that's correct.
But even the biggest Gunner fan.
You're
and I
loving this,
would-
Harrison, aren't you? You're just
I'm loving it. It's awesome.
I've been on the Gunner Stockton train because I thought I saw enough in him last year. But like even the biggest fan couldn't have seen this. Anybody
No.
that says they predicted this, they're lying.
All right,
Like,
all right. Here,
I mean,
I'll set this to bed right now. June.
Put me to bed, Eddie.
Okay, right now. It's June, and I'm going to ask you guys, Texas is going to win this game. Georgia's going to win this game, or the score is going to be 35-10, and it's going to be a quarterback game. Who wins the football game? June.
Oh, you would have said it would have been changes with you would have definitely said Texas would have been.
I mean, come on. You would have said what? You would have said what? Say it louder.
If somebody said at the end of the game it is going to be 35-10, you would have said Arch Manning just went up and had 437 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Harrison,
What am I
what
being
would you have said? If I'd asked you in June, the game's going to be 35-10. It's a quarterback game. Who wins the football game? What would you have said?
35-10.
You'd have-
Probably Arch.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I would have think it would be a
Oh,
close game.
come on.
But
I
that's
would call you
correct.
damn
know why,
liar.
Eddie, you want to know why? I was the biggest hater of Quinn Ewers. And I had said this. If Arch couldn't start over Quinn Ewers, who's the seventh round
That's
pick, in
valid.
my opinion,
You did say
sucked.
that. You
That's
did say
when
that.
I remember Jordan
did say
Rodgers.
that.
I remember last year going,
Jesus.
they're not starting Arch. He's a Manning. Quinn Ewers is terrible. I'm sorry, I almost cussed there. Quinn Ewers is
You can
atrocious.
cuss. It's a podcast.
And Arch Manning couldn't start over him. So what does that tell you? So that's why I was always kind of weary on Arch. Plus, he played at Newman where they played no competition, which reminded me
No,
of
that's
Brock
right.
Vanderbilt.
That's right.
So I never thought Arch was all that, to be honest with you. And Gunner was also someone I was concerned about. So if that was the case, I thought there
Sure.
would be 8 interceptions in the game, to be totally honest with you. If you said it's all about quarterback.
But
play.
no, Eddie's
I would
point
lean
is
slightly towards Texas. I will.
yeah, that's his point. He's saying if somebody would have told you the end of the game was going to be 35-10,
Yeah,
and it
35-10. I thought that's egregious. Like there was no way in hell.
no, but that's not his
team at quarterback play. It's that lopsided.
Yeah,
Are you
that's not his
kidding me?
point. Yeah.
And Eddie, I don't even thinks it would be 35-10 in a quarterback.
That's not the point. Say it, Andy. Say it.
The point is if you were told, if somebody had a crystal ball and they said in 3 months this game is going to end 35-10, who wins the game and who plays the best quarterback, and you would have said it would have been Texas and Arch was going to go off. That's what Eddie's
Bingo.
point is, because you would have
Bingo.
never thought, even the biggest Gunner fan, Johnny Dalla, what's up? That's my buddy Scuzz, but yeah, like you would have never said, oh, Gunner is going to go out here and just light him up like a Christmas tree.
Right.
But
Right.
hey, look at him now.
Exactly.
The dude is.
And we're all wrong. We're all wrong. I'm happy to admit it. That's fine, John. I'm happy to admit it. That's fine. Gunner has exceeded everyone's expectations, And he should be in the running for the Heisman right now. He's that good.
And the receivers don't get enough love because last year the
Sure.
receivers were a joke. That was the worst.
Well, what are we not talking about, Ben? Drops.
Drop balls.
Yeah, and I think we could.
Hey, and what is Texas talking about?
Drops.
They would have dropped handoffs last year if you would have handed the receivers the damn ball. And this year, it's rare you see them ever drop a pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Heck, they dropped a handoff in the SEC championship last year. Anthony Evans fumbled.
Yep.
Luckily, he had the bounce of heaven, and it bounced right back into his hands.
I mean, I think Georgia transferred that to Texas in like the first quarter of the game because their receivers. I mean, that was atrocious. They got Arian Smith's was their wide receiver coach.
All right, let's go to I guess play of the game. This is my favorite because we have so many options. I'm proud of my
I want you to go first though, Harrison. Please
want me
go.
to go
I'm
first?
proud of mine too.
Yes,
Damn
yes.
it.
Eddie's he's not all right. His pride is hurting after Trip Brady just went after him like an attack dog. That was
Okay.
electric.
I love it. I love the
stuff.
comments. It's great. This is what this is about.
Do you
Trip's a
love
great
the
guy.
comments?
I love Trip.
I do
Brady.
love the comments.
Trip Brady's a great guy. I love that guy. I love John Green.
John
too.
Green is unreal.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
Are you gonna go to Chick-fil-A with John Green though? Would you love to do that?
Yeah, sure. And then we'll go to Chick-fil-A.
Well, places.
Sure, I'll meet you, John.
He posted it in the. He posted it. Yeah.
I just finished typing that.
I hope so.
I'm typing that right now.
All right.
What's
All
your play, Harrison?
My play of the game. This is gonna be a shocker for folks who aren't paying attention. I just saw a transfer portal notification from Pete Nakos, and it said Georgia, and I'm like, but it was West Georgia, so I almost.
Right,
we're good. Gunnar Stockton's interception. That's my play of the game. Because from that point on the surface, you say, oh, how's that play of the game? Bad play by Gunnar. Throws it in coverage, tight coverage. Anthony Hill makes the play. But here we go. Below the surface. Just like that, everything changed. Georgia's offense went from not being able to move the ball consistently, struggling, not being in great situations on third down. After that, everything changed. You saw a different quarterback. And we talked about it before the Alabama game. What scared us most about Gunnar was we hadn't seen him throw a pick, and we didn't know how he was going to respond. And sometimes when the quarterback makes a mistake, he caves in and doesn't play the same anymore. Gunnar did the exact opposite. A year ago today, or 11 months ago, he threw that bad pick against Texas the SEC championship, and Georgia, as many do with a young quarterback, took the ball out of his hands. One conservative offense said, hey, buddy, you're not going to lose us this game, but we're not going to let you win it for us. Georgia said on Saturday, screw that. You're going to go win us this game. And he did that. He completed 8 of his next 8 passes for 78 yards with 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdowns. He was spectacular from that moment on and was a huge part of Georgia outscoring Texas 21-0 in that fourth quarter. And it all goes back to that flashpoint in this game, that interception. Because I tell you what, everybody on the screen right here, probably everybody at home, when he threw that pick and Texas went down and scored, I know there was something in the back of your mind saying, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Gunnar came back on fire, was a different quarterback, much more like the quarterback that we saw to start that game.
He's kind of like a prize fighter.
Can I just tout this right here? If you go to UGAsports.com and subscribe, you can read further what Harrison wrote about that. And I knew he was going to pick that because of what he wrote on UGA Sports. Well done, Harrison. That was an awesome pick.
Hey, you said I don't even look at the notes, and I just brought that to the table, so I had to prove you wrong.
Oh, you don't look at the notes. I mean, that's a different.
Oh, that's 100% a lie. But you know what, Eddie? You can go last. Ben Bachman, what do you got for your play of the game?
If he takes mine, kick him off the screen. What?
The play I'm going to bring up is they went for it on 4th down in their own territory and got it.
Hey,
that's my play. See, that's why Ben needs to go last because
you're going last because you don't read the notes.
Yeah, go Andy, go.
Me and Ben will go together. Yes, sir. I'm with you. That is my play of the game too. Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say it's creative because they brought in it was vintage Mike Bobo. They brought in a fullback.
Yes,
and I was like, this is going to work. When I saw the fullback on the field, they said this is working, and they faked it. And then the rollout by Gunnar was executed really well, and they had Chauncey Bones right there. And from then on, Georgia just got aggressive.
It was different after that.
What me and Roddy were talking about last night was, and Kirby talked about it himself, was he goes, you had to be aggressive. They were aggressive those first 2 drives. They were creative. They were throwing it. They were predominantly throwing the ball. from the third drive on, they were just running the ball a ton. And in that game, when they said, you know what?
And right up the middle, too. They were going right up the middle a lot, too.
Yeah, all the time. It was the most basic play calling. When they said 4th and 1, we're going to bring in a fullback. We're going to do a play action pass to Bowens. It reminded me of that triple option 4th down against Auburn where they did the option. They flicked it out.
The legit speed option.
Yeah, the speed option out there. I think it was Frazier or Bowens, one of the two. And I remember it reminded me of that play. And from then on, Georgia, just all the momentum just went in Georgia's way. And I saw a team that was creative, a team that played with fire. Because even prior to that play, Harris, I know you say that laid a spark under Gunner, the interception. But from there, the offense looked like, okay, now we're in rhythm. Because even the first few plays before that, they were not in rhythm. And then from there, they took over the game. They never looked back. So I'm going to go that play.
That was my play as well. Because it was the team, it looked like they loosened up. It gave them that shot of energy that they needed. It looked like Bobo started calling some more crazy creative plays again. And at that point we were taking over. So yeah, that was definitely my play of the game. Because it really, again, Kirby having the balls to call something like that on our, I think, let's see, we were on our 36. So if we don't get that, they're right there in field goal range already. So yeah, no, that was huge play. That was definitely my play of the game.
And did you notice what Sark said in the post game? He said we prepped for that play, and they didn't see it coming. That's why I say Kirby just toyed with Sark. He just toyed with him.
Yeah, and plus, but Sark even mentioned knowing. He said we know they're going to do some like special plays, like a fake punt, something like. He kept talking about it. So, but he just didn't see it.
Did anyone else realize that that's very similar of a play that what Alabama ran on Georgia to ice the game?
Yes.
Georgia's ran that play before.
Yep.
Since then.
Yeah, I saw that.
As our favorite troll, Tennis Girl 25, comes in chat. Appreciate you for being here.
Thank you, Tennis Girl.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Jason Katz. Saw me on the sideline before pregame, came over, say hello. Awesome meeting you. We appreciate your support over here on the Peach State Power Hour. Texted the guys about that immediately. We really do appreciate y'all. If you see us around town, anywhere, always before you come up, say hello. We love seeing it. Eddie's really the only one that may bite you. He's old, and he may have rabies, so be careful around Mr. EFA. Or, as his name says, Eddie chases with the wind from Acworth.
Yeah. And by the way, that is Harrison screwing with my title. So I figured that out the hard way. So that is not what I put in there. Can I go with my play of the game?
Yes,
is that allowed now?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Thank you. All right. The score was 21-10, and it is after what Andy and Ben said. Great play. Can I just be crude here and say Kirby put his balls on the table? Because that's what he did. Onside kick.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous to steal a possession after it's 21-10. I mean, Sark basically did this on the sideline. There was a player that they showed the fans. There was a Texas guy who's like, oh my God. No, actually, it was a Georgia guy. He was going, oh my God. I was doing the same thing at home. That was a ballsy play. And Kirby in the post game said that Cash has caught this ball like 250 times. I'm exaggerating, but that's
what Kirby said. Yeah.
I know, but there's no way. I mean, that's a lot. But I mean, they've run it a bunch of times, and Cash has come up with that. And Cash went up to coach and said, "Are we ever going to run this play? I want to run this play." And they did. They found the opening there. Now, they stole a possession and they went up 28-10, and the game is over. That's what they did. But I will say this about Cash Jones. Cash Jones drives me crazy until he doesn't, right? That's what he does, because there were a couple of opportunities to get a first down, and he's got the ball in the wrong hand, and he's stepping out of bounds, but then he makes this play on the onside kick, and I'm like, that's my guy from Texas, right? Yeah. I mean, he just, like I said, he drives you crazy till he doesn't. That's Cash Jones.
Let's remember, a friend of Eddie's, Ben, you were on here last night with me when I called this out.
Yeah.
Trashing Cash Jones after the Alabama 4th down. Trashing him. Said he shouldn't be on scholarship. This is why we don't do that dumb crap, especially as a former player, of all people. Really, really dumb take. Really bad moment. Look forward to hearing the apology segment this week from Brian Finneran, because that was a hell of a play in a hell of a spot. Hell of a call.
But I understand what Finneran's saying, because
I understand his
there
point
are
about
moments in the
putting your
game.
personnel.
There are moments in the game when I look up and 32's in the game. I'm like, oh, geez. You know, we all do it, Harrison. You do it. I know you do it.
And you want like
Look,
Dwight Phillips in?
That's not
What?
not what we're saying. I understand the personnel part, but the whole part about why is Cash on scholarship? Come on, brother.
Yeah,
that's
a
over the
little
line.
much. That's a little much.
Eddie, you asked for like Dwight Phillips because I've been actually one of the biggest advocates for Dwight Phillips to play. But I think, and I talked about this last night, the reason Cash Jones, one of the reasons he plays,
didn't play
Eddie,
Maris.
is because of pass protection.
Yes, that's
It's
why.
like if there was a couple years ago. Do you remember when Branson Robinson was at Georgia? I remember as a freshman, he was so hyped up. He against Auburn tore Auburn to shreds. Every play that season as a freshman, he was on the field. He ran the ball. Never once was he in pass protection because Kirby doesn't trust him there.
Yeah.
So Cash Jones, he trusts him in pass pro. He trusts the more veteran running backs to do that. When it comes to the younger backs, like a Dwight Phillips, he's not trusting him to pick up a blitzer that's coming off the corner. Because I think it was the third and dealt. Cash Jones was in there and picked up a corner on the corner blitz. I go, oh God, this guy's coming. I could see. And Cash Jones picked him up. And I'm like, that's why he plays Cash Jones. It's those little things that matter, which is why he plays. Even though I agree with your sentiment, he does kind of drive you crazy because I feel like in every game, at least once a game, there's a third down where they throw a screen to Cash Jones where it's only getting like 6 yards. And you're like, why is this play? It's like an annual tradition with Mike Bobo and this Cash Jones screen, which I think is what's driving you crazy. But that's why he plays. It's those little things.
No, I understand. I understand why he plays.
But I think
it's last night it was not pass pro. It was there were some critical downs he was in, and they threw the ball to him. And that one play where he had the ball on the wrong side, I'm doing the wrong side, but whatever.
That's where I think Nate Frazier should have played.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nate Frazier gets that first down, 100%.
And
heck, I thought Cash got the first down. To be honest, on the replay, I thought his foot was still in bounds.
I don't think so.
I don't know how you judge that play because, like, is it when his foot touches out of bounds? Like, I don't know.
That's what
my understanding.
His foot touched out of bounds right when he was extending the ball, so the play's dead right there.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was confused when they spotted that.
But whatever, you know what? It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Yeah, I do. That is, he plays with passion. He definitely he's look.
Sure,
y'all seen his oil company or whatever, those trucks where he painted them like the Georgia Bulldog pants.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude is a dog through and through. So
sure,
yeah.
100%.
You don't beat Tech last year without him.
No,
that's right.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Anyways, let's give some appreciation to the guy because like many, he went into the program as a walk-on.
Yeah.
And played his ass off for years, practiced for years with no guarantee that he was ever going to see the field or even have a scholarship, even get a chance at playing a snap at Georgia. Give appreciation to those guys because as we see, there's not many of them these days in college football is simply my point. So when they do have a good play, let's shout them out. And when they have a bad play, let's not tell them they don't deserve to be on scholarship. Not a good look is my whole take on the issue.
I never said
anyways.
Beef,
no, and you didn't. Yeah. And we called it out after it happened.
Yes.
So, anyways, we'll move on. We digress. Georgia plays Charlotte this weekend. I don't know what the line is on that game. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a line on that game. I'm going to succinctly summarize our thoughts on this game, and then we're moving on because we're 43 minutes in. This should be a blowout. Starters should be out of this game by the third quarter.
No.
We should see Ryan Puglisi.
Halftime.
Okay. We should see Ryan Puglisi in this game for a quarter and a half.
Second half.
Yeah.
A quarter and a half. And maybe you get Hexiah Malinder in there at some point.
Oh,
that'd be cool. Nice. Or Ryan Montgomery if he's fully healthy.
Like Ryan Montgomery.
Get the third and fourth string guys in there. Go see some young guys. Let them play. But most of all, emerge healthy. Anyway,
sorry, I don't know that. What time's kickoff?
You remember what?
Noon.
12:45.
Yeah.
Okay. 12:45.
Do you remember when I think it was when Jaden Daniels won the Heisman? They played some crap team. LSU did, and they left Jaden Daniels in there for more than 3 quarters, and he scored like 8 touchdowns. I'm like, this is the most egregious stat padding I've ever seen. If Georgia just wants to get a Gunner like 8 touchdowns in this game to get him to New York, they can do it, but I wouldn't do it.
Kirby wouldn't do that for all the money in the world.
Yeah. I will argue that Gunner wouldn't do that. He doesn't care about that crap.
No,
if they wanted to do it, they could though.
Yeah,
but they'll never do it
in their minds.
That doesn't matter. That's not a
Hey,
wow.
Hey, underappreciated maybe. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna duck and hide for this next segment because Eddie and Andy are about to have a heyday here. But I said it like 2 weeks ago that the Falcons should go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
And my position stays the same on this matter. So, gentlemen, whichever of you want to take the soapbox first, feel free.
Well, I'll just say they should fire Raheem Morris. They're terrible. This team is so bad. They're not fun to watch. I watched pretty much the whole game, and they did what the Falcons do. And I know Michael Penix got hurt, but it's like, and clearly Kirk Cousins is not good, but they're not giving the ball to their playmakers a lot. The first half, they were trying to get it to Bijan Robinson, but then they just quit. I don't know. They're terrible. Fire them. I mean, I don't know what else you can do. But 3-7. I said they would start 0-5, and I said they would end up 7-10. I was wrong on 0-5, 7-10. I may be wrong on that because they may go 6-11. They may go 5-12. They're just so bad. It's time just to get rid of them. So
okay. So I was determined not to let this team ruin my weekend, which was glorious yesterday. Bama loses, Georgia wins going away. I was not going to let them ruin my weekend because they have done that my entire life. And I did yard work, cooked, did stuff, and I was just looking at the score. I was not watching it. And with 2 minutes left, I was like, I got to watch the end of this. And the Falcons gave up a TD, a 2-point conversion to go to overtime. And I said, we know it's coming. And by the way, leading up to that, to get a first down, was our number 4 draft pick.
Yep.
Pitts. Slant pass right in his hands, and he drops it. He finished the day with 2 catches for 14 yards. What a pick. What a great pick, Atlanta. So they end up losing the game to Carolina, who is not a good football team, and everybody should be fired. But, Andy, I'll tell you this right now. Everybody will be fired.
Except.
You know what's going to happen in 2 seasons from now?
I do know what's going to happen. It's the same thing that happened 2 seasons ago. Yeah.
Rich McKay and Arthur Blank will make the next hire, which 100%. Will happen here at the end of the year. And in 2 seasons, we're going to be right back here saying the exact same thing. It's never going to change until Blank moves on and sells the franchise or Rich McKay is fired. So it doesn't matter.
Not hiring Mike Vrabel screwed that franchise because Mike Vrabel with the Falcons. I think the reason they didn't do it is because he was under Arthur Smith. He made Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith's offenses weren't good under Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel still won. So I don't understand that whole logic. That guy won with Tennessee with a bad roster. Falcons had better rosters. I'll say this: the
reason they didn't hire him is because he won't let them control him. He is not going to let Rich McKay and whoever tell him you do this, this, and this. It has nothing to do with good coach, bad coach. It has to do with who we can control and who our puppets.
And it also has to do with who wants to come work for these 2 clowns.
Exactly.
Rich McKay and Arthur Blank. Raheem Morris was begging for this job. Jim Moore Jr. was begging for this job. Arthur Smith was begging for this job.
Because nobody else wanted him. Nobody else wanted
exactly
him.
Right.
And they could be a head coach.
Like, why do I want to deal with this? I'll go back to what Dan Reeves said. Dan Reeves, one of the best coaches we've ever had. Arthur Blank said to him, I need a Monday meeting every Monday with you to recap the game. And he said, screw you. And he fired him because Dan Reeves is an NFL football coach. That he doesn't have time for Arthur Blank and his crap. Okay. And that's the problem with this football team. I'm telling you, we're going to fire all these guys, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, etc., and we're going to be right back here in 2 years saying the same thing. It's never going to stop until Arthur Blank and Rich McKay are out of the picture. It's never going to stop.
It amazes me that you have a defensive-minded head coach. And, Eddie, you talked about when they gave up a touchdown to McMillan to end the game. You know how they gave up that touchdown? They were in man coverage with a linebacker in one-on-one coverage against a number 1 wide receiver. That should never happen, ever.
Of course.
I don't care what – it should never happen at any point in the game. How that ends up happening is beyond me. And Bryce Young – I'm not a big fan of Bryce Young, but against the Falcons, he has his best games every year.
He's the MVP of the league.
If he played Atlanta 17 times,
yep,
he'd be the
MVP.
clear-cut MVP.
He
But when he
would-
plays other teams, he
would
just
throw for
doubtful.
5,000 yards a year. Yeah, he would just light them
All right,
up.
quickly. We play the Jets and the Saints the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
If he's not fired now, he's gonna be fired after they lose the Jets or the Saints, because that's gonna happen, right?
If you lose to Justin Fields for those Saints teams, you should never have.
You should have lost today, Ben.
I know, but the Saints and Jets are even. I mean, yeah, they're even worse.
He should be fired today. So let's say he goes 1-2. Let's say he wins this coming up week and then loses the week after. Is he fired after that?
Should be. I mean, he should be.
I don't think he will be.
He should be fired now, but
they'll wait till the season's over.
That's
but
what I think.
Exactly.
The Rams was terrible. That's the thing. I don't understand when people are like, with the Rams, see the number like, I think in total defense, they're like 24th or something. Because they looked and they go, oh my God, he coached Aaron Donald or Arthur Smith. He coached Derrick Henry. He was one player.
Yeah, they had a generational player.
Terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith was a genius for handing the ball off to Derrick Henry. What a guy. Bring him in. Harrison, move us off this crap now.
I was waiting for y'all to shut up so we could move on. I had to let them get it out.
Yeah, you left the room. Go take a pee.
That was not what I was doing. I was plugging in my computer. But yeah, I appreciate your concern. Let's talk about Georgia basketball. Eddie, you were at the game. Andy was not at the game.
Andy was watching Ty Peebles.
No, I wasn't there.
Franklin County.
Yeah, but hey, shout out Franklin County. We got a slugger from Franklin.
Hey, we got a scoreboard coming up here in a minute.
Listen,
we'll let you get to your shout outs.
We're talking about baseball.
Yeah. Let's Eddie, you were at the game. I was obviously on the road. You were there. You got to watch. Thoughts on Hoop Dogs?
So I showed up because my wife, beautiful Ms. Eddie from Acworth, performed at halftime.
Wait, you got to say your actual name. Eddie changes from the wind from Acworth.
Come on, just change it back. I mean, just stop being a juvenile. Whatever. I didn't put that in there. All right. Anyway, the point is my beautiful wife performed at halftime. So we got there early. I got there like 7:00. The game tipped off at 9. At 7:30, the entire student section is filled up. Shout out to John Bateman because he is a master at getting the students in. They're hyped up. The place is packed. And it was going bananas at tip-off, okay? Now, I know you can say, well, it was a Texas weekend. Everybody's in town. I don't care. It's Georgia Tech, the 4th game of the season?
Yeah.
There is no excuse that the University of Georgia can't be a basketball school. I've heard for years, oh, we're just not a basketball school. We just wait for football season. Bull, okay? We've got some talent on this on this basketball roster. Dominique Wilkins is there watching his son, Jake Wilkins, make plays. This is a loaded basketball team. We won 92-87 over Georgia Tech, and we only shot 20% from three-point range and still scored 92 points. Okay, we're 4-0. You need to get behind this team and watch them. They're fun to watch. Mike White's got some things going. He's got some great transfers. Smurf Millender, one of my favorite players, broke his tooth in the first half, comes back in the game and plays. They're kind of like, they remind me a little bit of this football team, the way Gunnar Stockton is, okay? Just absolute, we got to go out and win this game no matter what. Broken tooth, I'll go back in. I love it. It was great.
So when is their next game, Eddie?
Tuesday night?
Monday.
Monday night. Florida A&M, something like that.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, they're a good team. My thing with them is I don't know if they're going to be a tournament team or not, Eddie. That's the question is the bubble because of how loaded the SEC is each year. The SEC
Didn't we say that last year? Didn't we say that last year, Ben?
Yeah, but they just got in by like a game or two. And I think this year
they got in.
And they did, but I think it's going to be a very similar situation because the 3-point shooting, you're not going to be able to shoot 20% from 3 and win consistently in the SEC.
I agree with you
more often than not. But my thing with this team is Jacob Wilkins is only going to grow. He's fun as hell to watch. He's probably the most fun freshman Georgia's had. Ace is maybe more naturally talented from day one. I thought they kind of underutilized Asa last year, but Jacob Wilkins he's just electric to watch. I mean, he's already had like 10 highlight reel dunks already. And I look at the guards, they play like 5 or so guards. The difference with this year's team is they're going to be able to play 10 guys. And they have guards like Bailey starting, Ross is starting, Blue Cane's having his
Jeremiah
best
Wilkinson
Yeah.
is a beast.
Jeremiah Wilkinson's good. So when you look and you brought up Millender, that's at least 5 guards right there who are all going to play. So this team is loaded. Catchings has flashed a little bit. I like Stagg. The freshman Stagg's really athletic. The one thing that was Somto offensively, when he doesn't have an open dunk, he's terrible on offense. That's the one thing. But athletically, he can rebound and block
player,
shots.
Ben. That's what he is. He's a defensive player.
On offense, when they give it to him in the post, I'm like, this is not going to work. They need
to go back to what you're saying. I will say this: the front court is loaded. The back court, with when Somto got into foul trouble, because that's what happened Friday night, they were in trouble. Okay, because Somto is a massive piece. He goes out of the game for a long period of time, and they're not getting the rebounds, they're not getting the blocks. So that's the problem with this team right now. It's the bigs. And we play Florida, who's got 7'9" guy and a couple of 7-footers. It's going to be tough. I agree with you 100%. We got to wait till league play. But Ben, this team last year was not blowing out people and scoring 92 points like they did against Tech last year. They weren't doing that.
Their tempo's better. They can they're attacking the paint and their tempo's better. I think that the coaching Mike White's done this year is better than last year. I've been really critical of Mike White. You have too, Eddie. Andy, I think we've all been critical of Mike White.
Yeah, I'm not.
My one big difference with Mike White compared to the other coaches at Georgia is I think Kirby Smart and we're seeing it now, as the season goes on, the team's getting better. With Mike White, once league play hits, by the midway point, the team has regressed each year.
Yes.
And that's my point is, by the middle of the SEC play, can he maintain that or make adjustments? Because if he could, then I think, Georgia, the sky's the limit. Because I think they could be a championship program. You said basketball can be a championship program. Really, Eddie, any program at Georgia can be a championship program with the way NIL and parity is. And you have the state of Georgia to recruit. I think Georgia's talented in state in every sport. Like, I think this year in baseball, Georgia can win the national championship. They're loaded this year in baseball. They have a guy who can go top 5. It was a pitcher who's throwing 102, who Wes Johnson thinks can throw 103. And Andy's guy, Ty People, some people think he might be SEC Freshman of the Year. The guy hit 12 home runs in scrimmages so far in the fall. That's a real stat. He's literally just nuking the baseball. Basketball to do the same thing. When you have Jake Wilkins, we have Asa Newells from Athens. In 2027, the number 1 point guard in the country already visited Georgia. There's like 4 or 5-star recruits from 2027. They've all been visiting Georgia constantly. So that's telling me if you can lock down your state with just a competent coach, you can win a championship at Georgia in any sport.
It's not even that, Ben. I'm not saying any Georgia basketball team can win a championship. Just make the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Make the second weekend in basketball and you're on the map. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
If you make the tournament every year, it's a success.
No, but you made the tournament last year and you just bowed out. Like, right. It was just like,
they did. It was kind of sad.
Forgettable.
With John Calipari.
Yeah. I don't care.
That happens.
You got to get to the second weekend. That's when it matters. Okay. Harrison, you got anything to hear about basketball? Anything?
I'm with Super Good, dog. Let's move on to scoreboard. That went much longer than I thought it would.
We're 4-0.
They are.
It's also look.
Hey, one more to talk about. I can't wait to see them play Xavier. That's another legitimate test in their schedule. See where they're at. That should be a fun game. How far they go in that regular season tournament should also be fun. But
that's
like
weekend,
Ben
right?
said, like Ben and Eddie said, this is a fun team to watch. They're not as agonizing. It's not as poor quality basketball as it felt like it sometimes last year. Like, it actually feels like they're playing cohesive basketball, which was really cool to see. Anyways, Andy Stowe has our Georgia High School football scoreboard update, muchly requested after last week's hiatus. I'm sorry.
All right,
journalists saying muchly.
Hey, Paul Mahary superfan.
Paul Mahary superfan over here is wanting to speak about his team. Marist, they won 30-0 over Stars Mill, so that's a big win. Harrison went 45-35 over Marietta, and McEachern won 24.
No.
They got beat by Walton 28-24.
That was a shocker.
And then North Oconee, they won 31-15. So. And I have the link. So, let's just, for time's sake, let's just go with 6A, and we will say Colquitt County. They will be playing Grayson this coming up weekend. They smoked Mill Creek. You got
this
Grayson.
Andy lives for.
Yes, Colquitt County. Yeah. Grayson Who do I live for? Grayson beat Norcross. Like Carrollton is going to play Harrison. Like there's North Gwinnett is playing Lowndes. Anyone in particular we want to look at? I know Buford just went crazy. They won 45-0. So like
Who's
there's
their
a lot
next
of,
opponent, Andy?
they
Who's
will be
Buford's
playing
next
Newton.
opponent?
They play Newton this week. So
Yeah, they'll kill them. They'll
Yeah.
kill them.
well, Newton they won 33-14 over Peachtree Ridge. So that's
It doesn't matter. I mean, they're going to Buford. They're going to get murdered.
Yeah, Buford. But yeah, and let's just for a local school, Athens Academy, they won, so they moved on to the next round. So that's big for them. And let's see who else in the local area. Raven County, the fighting Gunner Stocktons, they moved on. So yeah, there's a lot going on. There's hopefully we'll get some local schools winning the national championship. So or not a national championship, state title. So.
Andy, how do you feel about this? You've been surpassed.
What happened? My best friend EFA. Hey, football Paul. How about that? I like it.
It's a troll. It's a troll.
Stowe always gets passed up on.
That's all right.
Also, speaking of high school, Georgia lands a number one quarterback today.
How about that?
Aiden Wade in
2028.
2028.
Yeah, that's interesting too because now
And they had the number one quarterback in 27 on campus, and they're currently committed 26 quarterback on campus.
Well,
So-
you know
Also
who's
number
on
one
campus,
quarterback.
Harrison? Bobby Coleman. You might know that last name.
Mm.
You know, he has a brother.
Yeah, so there's
Coming
some
under the
wide
portal.
wide receiver that, like over on like in the other
I'm
states.
saying that to say something, but I'm not saying something. Just leave it at that.
But if you're saying
Georgia
that,
might be the leader there.
let's just say maybe there is a package deal with the brother and brother combo, but you also got to think, let's just play it out. You got Gunner, who's probably going to be back next year. So then Jared Curtis has a year to sit. And you have 2 years of Jared Curtis. And then you have the 2028 top quarterback. You may be setting like the best 1, 2, 3 quarterback succession plan.
To be respectful, Andy.
They might win a game or two, maybe a couple. So
They could be an 8-win. They can win eight games a year.
They may win, I don't know, 16 in 1 year. Who knows how well they'll do. So,
man, that
Hey, Ben, not to take away from you, but wake me up when Jaden Wade signs the deal.
Eddie doesn't look.
Eddie, pen to paper. I mean, come on.
Eddie's a casual. Eddie's a casual, guys. He
No,
doesn't care
I'm
about
not a
recruiting.
casual. I've
He's a
seen this
casual.
100,000 times, and they spurn us at the last
All right.
minute. And he goes,
Eddie's
"Sign
told
with
Dylan
Texas."
Rayola
Name
poem
two.
and said, "I'm out on this recruiting nonsense."
That's
That thing
what-
was the most frustrating thing I've ever
Pen
seen in my life.
to paper, and then I'll get excited.
Well, there is.
Is that what made you better, Eddie? The poem by Dylan Rayola, the emotional poem to Georgia.
I'm not
and,
bitter. I'm not bitter. It's just a fact. And that's the way these kids are. Pen to paper because they change their mind. I'm excited. Jaden Wade, great. He committed. Pen to paper. That's all that matters.
pen to paper really don't even matter anymore. But
Well, that's a good
check
point,
to
Andy.
account.
But no, it is big though that we are getting these guys because that guy, when you have the number one quarterback in the country, that is a class builder because other guys
Sure.
follow him.
No,
So
I'm
that's
not
the big
discounting that.
thing. Yeah. So that's
It's
what-
from IMG.
I
Huge.
love how we have the same listeners each and every week. That now Paul's catching heat from Chris about what he watches at this
Chris
time
has
of
figured
night.
it out. Yeah,
Chris is here week in and week out.
Yep.
So is Gary Holt. I've seen Super Goat Dog several times. Trevor's here every week. Let's
Yeah.
see. Jermaine King's up in here, but he doesn't want to come on our call-in show.
I
He
know.
will not.
I'm so disappointed with Jermaine King.
Jimothy's also here. I've seen him several times.
That's James. That's James Caraway. Yeah, that's James.
Oh,
Caraway.
is it?
Yeah.
He changed his
Who?
name.
Which one?
Well, no, that's always.
Timothy? No.
No,
that's
YouTube
not-
has like a
that's not
messed
James
up
Caraway.
thing with that, where it's
Yeah,
like
messed
sometimes
it up.
it's a username.
It used to be his name.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
James.
sure.
That's
Oh.
James Caraway. That is.
It
It's
is?
a YouTube
Okay.
thing. It's not on
Randy
him.
Payne.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
loyalist.
Randy's my boy.
Obviously, John Green, the living legend. Marvin Charles. Hey, John Green. This is Eddie's CFA date right here.
That's
EFA, CFA.
Can't go on Sunday
101.
though. Can't
Yeah,
go on Sunday.
can't go on Sundays. Red beans and rice. Shout out, Dog's 85. Dog 85.
He
An OG.
remembers. My
An
boy
OG.
remembers.
Hey, Scott Anderson.
Love
He's
it.
always in here.
Scott
Yeah.
Anderson's in here all the time. Who else? I think the only objective sports fan I've recognized that name.
Yeah, he's
A
in,
lot
he's
of-
in
a
here
lot
a
of-
lot. Yeah.
A lot of loyal listeners. We appreciate y'all for being here each and every week.
Yes. It's
Uh,
awesome.
Even Paul, even though he left us high and dry. But hey, if it wasn't for Paul leaving, I wouldn't be here and wouldn't be
That's
friends
right.
with these guys. So
Nah,
I guess
screw him. Who cares?
I guess there's
mean,
wins and losses here.
Okay.
Anyways, Ben, thank you so much for being here with us
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you,
Been
Ben.
awesome, man. Yeah.
Ben,
Well
what are
done.
you up to?
Hey,
these
Ben.
days? Tell
Ben,
folks.
the best part about tonight is you didn't suck. Good job.
No, I didn't. I didn't inherit Paul. I mean, I remember being on with Paul and Jason, and my God, it was a shit show. I guess I can just say that now since we're after an hour. It was a shit show.
You could have said it then. You could say it now.
Because
Yeah.
I remember we would go on literally right before we would go on, and Paul would be like, "What are we talking about? We got nothing." And me and Jason every time would be like, "Let's just screw with them and say nothing." So Paul would go on here and would just ramble, and he'd be pissed off the whole time. Like, I don't know what to talk about. We have to go 45 minutes.
Oh man, that's so
I
great.
love pissing him off, and I love Roddy pissing him off by bringing that Hawaii guy on at like 3 a.m. Roddy goes, "We're signing off." He brings on a guy from Hawaii who's carrying around a freaking machete. I remember Paul texted me, and from that moment I go, Paul's going to quit, even though he never had a job to begin with. I think I've made more money than him in 2 years, and he's made in like 15.
Yes, you have. You have.
Oh man. All right. Well, we have the Paul Meharry super fan, the Paul Meharry rage baiter, and then we got Andy Stowe. So we got it. We're all set. Appreciate y'all for being here tonight. We have
Thank
over
you, Ben.
1,600
That was awesome.
live viewers.
That
Ben,
was
what are you
a
up
fun
to
one.
these days? Tell the folks where they can find you.
Well, I'm on the board with Harrison. I guess he's now taken over the intern role of Paul. He's already more sophisticated than Paul, so we're on the right path and trajectory. But I'm mostly now on the hoops board and kudzu, doing baseball and basketball. Baseball season's gonna come around pretty soon. Basketball, as me and Eddie talked about, for longer than Harrison expected. Season's already upon us. I'm going to be there. I'll talk about football as well and probably write up some stories pretty soon. But that's where I'll mostly be with Harrison. And thank God, no longer Paul Meharry. So you guys can check me out there.
Hey,
Ben,
the
are you
day
gonna
I
come
see
down?
Paul Meharry on the vent with a reply or anything will be the day that we can all retire and go have red beans and rice over in Acworth. He just tweeted for the first time in forever. Saw him in my mentions, but I have not seen him on the vent. I don't know. Did Paul Meharry's account get lost in the transition or something? I have not seen him on the vent since July 1st.
He's been too busy watching Jake Pope
Too
with
busy.
Trent Smallwood. I think that's what it is.
Hey, you're gonna get me blocked by Trent. You're gonna get me blocked.
Hey, Ben,
I didn't
Ben,
put him
are
up
you
there.
coming-
Trent's on Twitter right now. There's no way he's watching this. He's probably tweeting his 50th tweet of the day. Trent Smallwood.
Are you coming down to watch baseball, Ben? Are you going to come catch a game live?
Oh, to watch baseball with you, Andy?
You coming down this year?
Have you gone to a scrimmage? Team's gonna be great this year.
I have not been.
Yeah,
to a
let's
scrimmage.
make it happen, Ben. Come down.
I
We'll watch a
will
game
come
together.
down in the spring. I will come
All right.
down.
Are you gonna talk about the Orioles with them or like?
No, we're not talking
No.
about bringing
Oh,
Orioles.
No.
They suck.
No, I think both our baseball organizations are not it right now. Not it. They both sunk at the same time.
Well, yours
First place,
suck for a
no.
long every
Sure.
year, but the Braves are typically good, but the Orioles suck all the time.
Let's
so.
do that. Let's make that happen, Ben. We'll watch a
Let's
game
do it.
together.
All right. Before we go down a rabbit hole, I'm gonna wrap this show up. We'll
Wrap
see
it
you
up.
back next week, 7:30. This is the Peach State Power Hour. Paris and Reno. That's Andy Stowe. That's Paul Meharry Superfan, aka Eddie, with the wind changes from Acworth, and
Such
that's
shit.
Ben Bachman. We'll see you back next week.
Thank you.